Amazon. El primer verso, papi. Lo que manda aquí.
Bienvenidos, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Big Will, your host from Blaxit to Panama. Today, I'm really excited to bring a brand new format to the show, Blaxit to Panama Live, and our hopes of being able to leave breadcrumbs for people along this journey of exodus from the United States to Panama. Want to be able to not only show you the things that we are going through, but also have you interact, or not interact, but show you some of the real life people that are here and have already made the transition so that you can learn a little bit from them. And I'm so incredibly blessed and honored to have as my inaugural guest on Blaxit to Panama Live, a couple that I've been following since I was in your shoes making my plans to leave the United States. I've been following them for a while. I saw them in previous interviews with Charlotte Van Horn, the founder of Black Expats of Panama. Learned a lot from them, and then had the blessing to be able to meet them in person shortly after we moved here with Charlotte. She brought one of her relocation tours through Coronado. So without any further ado, let me just introduce them. It's a wonderful couple, Tito and Francis Sisnett. Y'all give them a round of applause. So Francis and Tito, very quickly, give us a brief just introduction of yourself, who you are, and what led you to even look at Panama in the first place.
Well, me first. Okay. Well, how can I say? I was born in the States, born in New Orleans, raised in Southern California, and I ended up marrying this guy who happened to be Panamanian. And he always kept talking about Panama and how nice it is, and he came from a really small town and so forth, and I'm like, okay, that's nice, but you know, as we raised our kids and so forth, we decided to go visit, and we did. And we had a family reunion out there. We went out, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. I mean, flying into Panama City was like looking at Manhattan. I mean, the skyscrapers and everything. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know it was like this. You know, when you're in the U.S., you think that the U.S. is all that in a bag of chips, and it's not. There's other places that are just as beautiful and just as developed. Now, Panama, I don't want to mislead anyone. I mean, a lot of Latin America and Panama too. But Panama's not a first world country, but I wouldn't say it's a third world country. I'd say like second world, because there are some things there that need to be improved. But a lot has happened over the last, 50 years in Panama. When we had, for me, my aha moment is like I think I could live here is when we went on the family reunion, and we went and heard about different places within the country, and we said, well, we should check it out, maybe even do a tour or something. But we wanted to, two things, have like a legacy for our kids, because they're half Panamanian, and it would be a place for them and their kids, our grandkids, to come to visit, and to live if they wanted to. So, and then, the shit farm happened with Trump, and and we were like, well, maybe we should have a plan B. I don't know. So, that's me.
All right.
Okay.
Tito?
Me? I was born in Panama, so the decision to come back was a little bit easier. Had been gone for like 40 years, left in 1973, and then come back for like almost 40 years. And when I came back, I was just amazed. My country changed and everything else. And then I remembered, it's green, it's beautiful. I grew up in a small town called Paraíso, which is next to Pedro Miguel. I saw the canal like every day going to school. And yeah, really small. And we used to count the dogs in the road getting smashed by cars for fun. So decided to come back and don't regret that purchase of a home and so forth. I came to the United States and did what I had to do, and now I am retired.
Yes, Tito. Let them see the T-shirt, Tito.
Let me go this way.
There it is.
I'm retired. I'm back in Panama. All right.
All right.
I
No.
just want to qualify that. He's a retired legal drug dealer. Okay.
Thank you, Francis.
We weren't the rich ones. Okay.
Thank you, Francis, for for the sanctity of me still being able to actually make a few little coins off of this video. I need them to understand. The YouTube people are going to be reviewing this, and they're going to be like, "Whoa!" So YouTube, you heard it. He's retired legal.
Legal. Pharmacist.
You're good. So tell us about where you live in Panama and why you chose that.
Okay. When we decided, we could live in Panama, we weren't quite sure where we wanted to. So we said, let's book a tour. Tito, like he said, he hadn't been back in like 4 years. And so there were places within the country, and the country's big, where he had not been. So I said, why don't we take a place that'll hit a lot of places that we might want to look at? We being raised in Los Angeles, having, urban, I live in the suburbs. It's like, I think I'd rather be in the suburbs at this time of my life. I don't need the city life as much, but we want to be somewhere close to the city. So we booked a tour. We were all ready to go, and COVID hit. And I was okay, so that got put on hold. The tour people were really good and holding our spot because they couldn't do anything either. And it kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. But in the meantime, we were looking on the internet and looking at different properties and stuff like that, and came across quite a few at that time that were very reasonable. And then there was one that we really liked, and the tour company that we had, they would have monthly meetings, and they would bring in different people like lawyers or real estate agents, bankers, things like that, to give people ideas of what to do when they got here. And we contacted one of the real estate agent that they had there, and he said he would go check out this property we were looking at. So it was in Coronado. It was right near the beach, and we're like, yeah, we could do that. And it had several bedrooms, enough for our kids. So he went, and we loved it. Put an offer in, and it was denied. He did not want to sell it, and we're like, dang. So as that happened, our realtor then talked with the other owner's realtor, and she said, I have another property in the same complex if you're interested. So he contacted us. He went, and he literally was our boots and our eyes on the ground. We're in the States. The country was locked down. You couldn't get in here if you wanted to.
Nobody in, nobody out.
Nobody in or out. And he sent us videos in of everything, from walking in the door to the backyard, up all the closets, everything. And we're like, this has got some good bones. It was not as nicely decorated as the other one, but that's cosmetic. So we liked it, and we did what everyone should not do, is we put an offer in, and we bought it sight unseen. We didn't rent, we didn't do nothing. We said, you know what, let's get it, go for it. It just felt right. But we were very lucky, and like I said, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend if someone's going to come here to at least rent for at least 3 months in one place. Go see where you want to go. But we had already had an idea that we wanted to live near the beach. Coronado is an hour, 20 minutes from the city if we wanted to get there. There's shopping in this area. There's healthcare that's nearby. There's the beach that is like 300 yards from our place to walk. And there's golf course.
Wonderful restaurants also.
Oh, yeah. Great restaurants and golf course because we both like to golf. So we said, this guy is checking all the boxes, whatever. So we did. And of course, then I think it was in October, that following October, that's when the lockdown ended. We were able to come in and close escrow. And then by December, we were able to go on the tour. So we went on the tour afterwards. We said, we thought, well, maybe we won't since we've already bought something. We said, no, we can see what Panama offers, places we want to go to visit. We don't have to drive. We didn't have to get hotels. We didn't have to worry about food. Everything was taken care of. So
Beautiful.
We did it and enjoyed it. We got to see everything from Panama City, Tennessee, Santiago, Las Lajas,
and Chiriquí.
Chiriquí. Where else?
Boquete,
David. So
coffee plantations.
Yeah. This country's beautiful. It offers a little bit of everything for everybody. And the temperature can vary from if you're near the beach where the temperature stays in the 80s, or it can go or it can be cool if you like cooler weather, like in the 70s or so. If you go up in the mountains, it's beautiful. Sit outside, see rainbows and a glass of wine. Anyway, so that's my story on our story from that end. You want to add anything? Because I can talk.
Me?
Go ahead, Tito.
I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
As far as deciding where to live and everything else, and we took Francis to where I grew up. And while the town is it was great when I was growing up, the thing is, it is not for everyone. And so you have to keep that in mind too. How and where do you want to live? What style do you want to live? Do you want something that more approaches some of the amenities that you enjoyed in, say, the United States or wherever you're from? Then you just pick the locale, and the beach kind of was the perfect in between. It wasn't bustling. It wasn't a lot of, the pace was a little bit slower. I'm from a small town. I like smaller places, slower pace. Playa Coronado was it.
Nice. All right. That is phenomenal. First of all, I knew some of the story, but I am so excited that you were able to have the courage and the gumption to get that done during COVID when you couldn't get in the country. The nerve that it would take to do what you did unseen is a lot of courage, and I like everything you said.
People are nice, and I like where we are too. I mean, there's a lot of expats in Coronado, but the complex that we're in is an older complex, and it was one of the first ones that were built around Coronado, and it was built at the time for Panamanians with funds. And right now, they rarely have openings in it because they pass it on to their kids and their kids. And so we have a lot of different neighbors from all over. A lot of Panamanians, French, a lot of Europeans, Canada. It's very multicultural, and it's a family complex. So there's a lot of kids that go around, and we can see them from our window playing soccer and stuff, and it's just so cute. But we really like it. It's something that our grandkids will enjoy too. So
that legacy piece that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, our legacy piece.
Yeah, and full disclosure, Blaxiteers, they have a absolutely gorgeous home.
We're getting there.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Please, by all means, tell the viewers a little bit about some of the hands-on work that you've done to make that home your own.
Oh my. Well, when we bought it, remember it was COVID, so the place had been empty for like 10 months. Easy. Easy. So first we had to get the place cleaned out. It wasn't filthy or anything like that, but it was still that edge of dust and stuff that gets there. So we had all that cleaned out.
Mold.
And some of the furniture was moldy. We had to get rid of that. Oh, and that's something to keep in mind too when you come to live out here. When you rent a house or buy a house, most of them come furnished. They, which is good if you know that way you don't have to haul your stuff all the way from the States, but you also have to like it too. But keep in mind, you know, that's a big plus. That's an expense you don't have to come off with right away. But we had walls redone, we had plumbing redone because the pipes hadn't been used in 10 months. We've had what else have we had done?
You had the roof done?
The roof done recently. But that was something we knew that was going to probably happen anyway. We've had the backyard painted, and
Right.
I think what we have left now is that we have a small plunge pool in our backyard, so we're going to have that replastered and retiled. That's our goal this year. But the thing is, a lot of this that amazed us is that the pricing for works is a lot less than in the U.S. I mean, we had a plumbing job that required them to dig into take the tile up, and he did it perfectly so not to ruin the tile, so they could reuse it. Then do the plumbing, clear it all out. It took them all day, and we're like, okay, it's going to be a good $2,000.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. Yeah, 2 days to do it, and it cost us less than $400.
I think it was about $350.
$350 for that was parts and labor, you know. So, and this is with good work. I mean, it's good work, you know. So
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's kind of the stuff we've had to do. Like I said, the place had great bones. It was just a question of cleaning it up and getting it back to par for people because it had been empty for so long, you know. So.
Thank you for sharing that. I remember you talking about some of the extensive work you had done, and also for the Blaxit family. I don't know if I've ever discussed this before, but I had a real estate business in the States before coming here. So listening to them talk about the work they had done on the house and how much it cost was just mind-boggling, mind-boggling. So. It's a really, really good deal. In your process of coming here, did you use an immigration attorney or did you try it on your own?
No, we used an attorney, and it's required by law in Panama that you do use an attorney. You don't really have a choice, but you do have a choice of what lawyer to pick, and it's very important that you vet your attorney. We used an attorney initially to do. Did we do anything with you? To get your passport, your cedula, his cedula and passport. My kids use that attorney for getting their cedula because since they're half Panamanian, they can become citizens right away and have dual citizenship. Me was a little different. And my attorney, and I'm not going to mention names, but it didn't go well with me. And I had to leave, to put it nicely. And when we came back, I ended up getting a different attorney, and that's been worked out pretty well and getting everything redone. And as of today, I just got the email that my permanent residency is final. So I'm officially resident. So I'm very happy about that. I just have to go down and, get the little card, picture taken, and all that good stuff. But yes, you do need an attorney. And for real estate, you will need an attorney.
Right.
And when I say attorney, it's a Panamanian attorney too. Okay, because there are things you need to do not only in Panama but in the United States before you get here. Things that need to be authenticated or and the paper's only good for, so say 6 months. It's a time thing. Plus, an attorney who's experienced also has the connections to get appointments for you, to go in for you, to meet you there and do all the legwork. Because literally, I just sat in a chair and would let them run around and do whatever they had to do, and in and out like that. You could be there all day if you didn't have an attorney. So it's worth the cost to have it done.
Holly agree with that. We used an attorney, and Sonia has flown right through the process, and that attorney has done all the legwork. We're not even sure what the whole process. When I say we understand how they describe the process to us, but as far as which office you have to go to get this piece of paper stamped and then stand in that line, we don't know any of that because they're doing all that for us.
They did it all. Yep.
And they also help with the driver's license process. So that was quick, fast, easy. The only thing that we had to worry about was getting the god-awful appointment with the U.S. Embassy, which was easier because we had good friends who, like the Sisnetts, who let us know that appointments were available. So we were able to get an appointment pretty easily, when a lot of people really complain.
Yeah.
They've been trying for months. You made our life really easy. So again, Blaxit, this is why I wanted you to see the Sisnetts, because they've been so instrumental to us, and I know that somebody else can glean some or nuggets of wisdom, I should say, from this exchange as well. So was there an aha moment in the States when it was like, okay, it's time to bounce?
How much time you got?
Go ahead, Tito.
Oh boy. Well, first of all, one of the reasons I came to the United States was for opportunity and education, and got both, and things, slowly improving over time. And we all thought that things were going to be going forward, getting better, and then you know what happened. That changed everything. Yep. And I'm like, oh gosh, we have got to have a plan B.
Yep.
And that plan B may be plan B, C, D, and E. And it all means we get out.
Get out, yeah.
Gotta roll.
Yep. Gotta roll.
Mm-hmm. Gotta roll.
You never know what's going to happen, and even if, and I would say to your viewers, even if you're still not sure where you want to go, where you want to land, the first thing you should get is a passport.
Ooh, please.
Get yourself a passport, keep it there for you, so that when it's time, if you need to go, you can go.
Right. Even if you can't afford the plane ticket, get the passport right now, because they're going to stop giving passports.
Yeah.
They I'm pretty sure the system already realizes what's happening, and I think they're doing things to try to slow down the process. I know, when the 2016 election happened, there was such a high number of Americans overseas that were renouncing their citizenship, which is a thing that can happen just by going into a U.S. embassy, right? And filling out a form or something. They shut down that process at the embassies. They were like, you have to come all the way back and get an appointment now, because they added that wrinkle to it. You can't just come back. You have to have an appointment to renounce your citizenship. So I think they're realizing they're hemorrhaging citizens and doing little things. So now you hear it takes 4 months to get a new passport, or 5 months to get a passport. I got a friend whose kid is still waiting for a passport. It's been 3 or 4 months. So please, Blaxiteers, get your passport now. Keep it active, renew it, because that's a lifeline. That is definitely a lifeline. You're going to need that. And it's amazing to hear the similarities amongst folks about some of the rationale for leaving the United States. So Now that we've talked about the aha moment, let me get nostalgic. Is there one thing that you miss from the States that you wish you had in Panama?
In-N-Out Burger and Albert's Grits.
Oh yeah, that was me.
She stole it. She stole it.
That was me.
But by the way, Blaxiteers, this is also my grits lifeline here. You talking to?
That's true. Yeah, because we pack our suitcase. We pack our
Yes.
suitcase full of grits.
Yes, we had some this morning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No.
Hashtag Fat Boy approved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. I miss that electricity sometimes stays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being in a second world country, sometimes you have shortages, like not or outages.
Yes.
Of your water or electricity, and it's important when you're looking at a place to stay here to find out whether they have a backup generator or if they have a water tanks, reserve water tanks, stuff like that. You
Very
know,
important.
you didn't have to worry about that here. You turn those faucet in the States, and there's water. Now, keep that in mind. We're from Southern California. California's been in a drought for probably 15 years now, and it's really bad. Water prices have gone up like you wouldn't believe, and I could see water rationing in the future here because it's that bad. But in Panama, it's there, so you just need to have the the backup generator and the water tank. When we have a water tank, that helps us.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah.
That is gospel truth on the power. I was going to ask you. I think you just talked a little bit about it, but to compare the outages that we see here in Panama West Day with the brownouts or the electrical grid in California.
Yeah, they do that here. Where
Yeah.
we are.
The-
Rolling blackouts or brownouts they call it,
Yeah.
based on your section where you are and how it goes. We've been lucky that we haven't had to experience it too often, but because where we are in Southern California in Highland, we're in a high fire area, and Edison has already passed it through the state, and it's in effect now that if the winds hit a certain speed along with temperature that are ripe to start a fire, they can shut off our power and it can stay off. It takes 3 days for them to put it back on. Okay, so we were like, and it didn't matter if you needed it for like a ventilator.
Ventilators, right?
Medical. No, they say find you some alternative use of power. So in Cali, we had to actually buy a backup generator. We have a dual fuel, so that when it is cut off, then we have some electricity that will do the refrigerator, charge our phones, stuff like that. And that's now in California.
And then I was remiss. Explain a little bit, if we haven't already covered this for the viewers, your situation now. I know you're in the States, and I also know that you're coming back, and I can look so forward for your return.
Yes, that's true. We are currently not in the States, and that's because we still have our home here, but mainly is because I have bad knees, and 3 weeks ago, I just had a knee replacement. I had the opportunity to get it done in Panama. I had looked into possibly even doing it in Colombia. Colombia right now is a new medical tourist place to go to. They have really good care and good doctors. Panama
Good to know.
has really good has good doctors and there too. But my retirement, which is my health care, if we have an address here, you know, I still have that. I still have my health care here from my retirement, and through that I could have it. That I couldn't beat the price of having my knee done here. Instead of thousands of dollars, I had a $5 copay to have surgery. Can't beat that. That's my plane ticket still didn't come, you know. So right now I'm recovering from that. It went well. Thank the Lord for that. And as soon as I'm able to fly in, we're out of here.
The last question I have for you, Sisnetts. Would you do it all over again? Would you make the move?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Yes. After being here, from the people to the cost of living to the atmosphere of not living with that low grade anxiety of being in the States. You know, example, oh gosh. I don't know if you have time to hear this story, but we were on our tour, and it was just us and Oscar. We were coming back.
Oscar is our tour guide.
Our tour guide, and he was taking us back to Coronado, and he got stopped by the police for speeding. They came out on the road, pulled him over, and we're like, oh wow, you know, So he pulls over. He says, oh, this is okay, it'll be all right. He gets up and runs back, gets out the van and runs back to the cop, and we're like, oh no, he's gonna get shot. What the hell is he doing?
Right.
You know, what the hell? And then and we're like, we're afraid even to turn around and look, you know, and he's back there talking with the cop back and forth. You know, and the cop blah, blah, and then finally he gets back in, and we look, is everything okay? He goes, yeah, I got the ticket, I'm going to have to pay this and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know, we couldn't do that in the States. We could not get out of our car and run toward a cop. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, we go back there because we just don't want them to walk to us. It's just they're out there all day, so we just walk just to go. You know, it's like the concept was, you know,
right.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking. It's so ingrained from being in the States of how you got to act around the cops.
That was an aha moment.
Yeah, that was an aha moment.
A very surreal one for me as well. I've already had police interaction here in Panama City, and I'm here to tell you, Blaxiteers, it was far better than anything I ever experienced in the United States. We didn't feel threatened at all. They were actually the first time they interacted with us, they were trying to help us. I had left the lights on, and we just didn't understand the language well enough to realize that he was trying to help us.
Yeah, exactly.
You
They're
know,
here to protect and serve.
Oh my God, a cop is actually helping me. So, you know, I'm a fan. I feel it. I'm here. So you already know I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh man.
Woo! We're set to come back in a month to get our stuff out of storage. I'm nervous. I don't know, because the United States has declared COVID over, so we're not feeling too good about, you know, being around people who, you know, here you know they're still wearing masks here, so.
Yeah.
But you still wear masks. Even as
That's
we're
true.
here, I don't care if they don't have it. If they look at me funny, okay, it's me. You know, but I'm wearing mine, and I'm social distancing. I have no problem saying somebody, hey, back up 6 feet. Thank you. You know, I'm at risk or whatever. You know, I don't have a problem with that. But no.
The peace and tranquility of Panama is there, but
yes.
Thank you. Oh, Tito, you have something else?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you know, as one of the reasons why it just tickles me to see a lot of our Afro descendants coming from the United States and from all over back to Panama. And I'll confess, as a born Panamanian, I did not know the treasure that my country has, that my country is, and the difference that it can make in people's everyday lives. You come here looking for, you know, like the United States and Panama, stay home.
No.
Stay in the United States. Mm-hmm. This is Panama. Mm-hmm. Don't try to make it into the United States. Enjoy the climate. It's warm. Enjoy the vegetation being green, the forest and everything. Enjoy the beaches, enjoy the food, enjoy the
culture.
people, and how patient they are, as long as they're not behind the wheel of a car. Okay.
Yes, 'cause they
Amen, Tito.
Us Panamanians just have a, I don't know, put in a steering wheel, and that's like having someone boom, 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 boom. You take no
It's like New York on
No
steroids.
if you have a Panamanian behind the wheel, okay?
That's too funny.
But yes, but enjoy.
I don't know what happens to y'all behind the wheel. I don't know. So the nicest
I
people.
don't know what happened to us. I don't know what happened to Panamanian, buddy. I don't know.
You can't explain it, man. I'm telling you.
Nah.
But everything else, I mean, everybody's so. Tito, I'm so glad you touched upon that point. We're going to do a whole episode in talking about how to be a good gringo and not and not bringing your preconceived American McDonald's, I got to have my Big Mac right now attitude to this wonderful laid-back tropical place. It's just not. It's just
we see a lot. I see a lot of questions on people who come and says, "Well, where are you guys? I want to, I want to live where the black folks are." And I'm like, Panama is like 96% people of color.
Right.
You're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
You're everywhere. Find where you want to be, and you'll find us.
We're everywhere.
Just and enjoy the culture. Don't bring your preconceived ideas from the States here and thinking you're going to find that here, because it's not.
Right.
It's different.
I was floored by a question I saw recently where someone wanted to know if there was an old school R&B lounge in Panama City.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, we listen to that every day on our Alexa, but we're not trying to go out in Panama City and expect the indigenous culture to deliver Isaac Hayes to us. They have their own, music. Let's listen to that. I've been listening to Barry White my whole life. That's not gonna change. Let me embrace, some merengue. Learn how to salsa. Learn the language.
Reggaeton.
I remember an expat, looking at me like I'm doing the Duolingo lessons on the rooftop of Coronado Bay. They're like, why are you doing that? I was like,
why?
Dude, do you know where you are? I'm glad we touched upon that point. Blaxiteers, that's a good lesson. Please, please, please. For young people, stay in your lane when you come here. Stay in your lane. Put it in neutral or cruise control and see what's going on, and read the room. Understand the vibe that you are moving into, and figure out how you can help facilitate that instead of trying to change it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there because I'll get preachy, and then I'll look up at the recording and it'll be 64 minutes. So everything else I wanted to say, y'all need to go check out the Black Man Forum Living Abroad, because we already said it for 4 hours. We said it there. Go check out that video. But I really, 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 really want to appreciate you all for joining me on this inaugural format. Number one, you made it a lot easier for me to do this. Thank you.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
Thank you. And I am so incredibly sure that our viewers are going to learn so much from the Sisnett. So let me give them another round of applause.
Big Will too.
Aw, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ella sabe que yo no estoy jugando, quiero algo más, no solo